Time for this week's CEO's vlog, John. Another big week. Let's start off talking about Stevie Puck. He's been in the news.
Oh, he's not in the news exactly, but he's been out there competing. Good luck to Stevie in what his endeavours are, but he was in the Commonwealth Games this past week at the Gold Coast, and he's in the shot put, and he threw a personal best. He wasn't on the dais for a medal, but still, it's good to see a harness racing participant up there doing their best and enjoying what they do.
Yeah, most definitely. Good luck, Stevie. Let's talk about this Saturday night. We've got the Miracle Mile.
Yeah, great race, as it always is, of course. Hopefully that it's the New South Wales flag that will fly high at the end of the race, and we're certainly well represented. But to all the participants in that great race, the best of racing luck. Whoever wins will be the champion, and they'll be a worthy champion.
Do you think they'll break the mile record here in the Southern Hemisphere? You
can never predict what some will happen. Yeah. When you say that, they sometimes run a little bit slower than what you expect. But it'll be on for young and old from start to finish. $750,000 is a lot of money at stake, and as I say, wish them all the best of racing luck.
Which horse do you fancy to win?
I don't fancy any, but I'd prefer the money to stay in New South Wales if it could.
Okay, we're talking about money in New South Wales. Let's talk about the Australian Pacing Gold Sale this Sunday at a new location as well.
English Sales Complex, brand new out there at Warwick Farm. Fantastic facility. I've had a look at it, and it's just marvellous. It's easy to get to as well, and there's plenty of parking, not like the former facility in Randwick. So I encourage people to do two things: go along and have a look, and then buy yearling, because what's on offer here in New South Wales is better than anywhere else in Australia. So your opportunities there. They're quality horses, a great catalogue, and of course after this sale we have the Bathurst sale. So New South Wales, it's on the up and up.
All right, well, that's a great segue into my next question. There was a huge announcement this week with $2.8 million being injected into prize money here in New South Wales.
Yeah, Chairman Rod, on behalf of the board, made that announcement on Tuesday, and it's real money. So for people who don't think it is, and I've seen the Facebook comments, and it's ludicrous for people to be critical of this. $2.8 million across the board in the state. It's there for everybody to win, and you just have to have the right horses at the right places to win that money.
Yeah, okay, well, where did the funding for this come from?
Well, the funding comes from the fact that Harness Racing New South Wales has to set an industry budget, and we set that budget with some sort of conservatism, but in that budget we hope that we get better wagering returns. In the last year we got substantially increased wagering returns, and it's projected to carry forward, but also there's a surplus, and the surplus people will talk about, and I've seen the Facebook posts on that as well. There are also projects that we undertake during the year that are in the budget. Well, in the last financial year, of course, Wagga didn't start. So there was a major part of that surplus. So the money that we are distributing is money that we've gained through wagering returns and other returns that we have during the year. So it's there. We're fully comfortable or confident that it certainly will be for the next couple of years, and we hope the wagering continues on and we can continue on further. But paramount to our business is good racing, competitive racing, strong level playing field racing, so we can get that wagering return up.
Yeah, well, that's good about the wagering return. So this all kicks off at the beginning of the new financial year, so July 1. Let's go through it all. We'll start at the top. So there's $600,000 that's been put into those R penalty races.
Well, there won't be any R penalty race meetings. There will be R penalty races, but not race meetings, and they're part of another strategy that we have to retain some of these races to help the likes of the Canola Cup, because we want horses to be able to race and compete, but not do anything that's not in accordance with the rules. because it's a CO race. So we do have to retain some of those. There are 6 trial meetings at Bathurst on a Monday. The trial meetings are with the trials themselves, and in that case they'll be for 3,500. They'll be for the bottom grade RO up horses. So there's things that we're doing going forward that will retain some of those $3,500 races, but other than that it'll be $5,000 and $6,000 meetings across the state.
Okay, well, on that note, there's also $600,000 going to increasing prize money at Menangle. So Tuesday meetings will be $9,000.
They will. Now, what people have to remember is Harness Racing New South Wales commits to the club $6,500 for those races. So currently they're $7,500. So the club tops up those races. We've been able to reassemble the calendar to create more money in respect to those races. So they will increase to $9,000. And the long-term goal of Harness Racing New South Wales, of course, is to increase the money and have levels like 5,000, 7,000 and 9,000. So there is a difference between those levels and those meetings. So participants can make a choice. Do they want to win a race for 5,000 or do they want to win a race for 9 or 7? Yeah. Somewhere in the middle there.
Okay. Breeders' Challenge, there's $300,000 more going into that, increasing the prize money pool to $2.3 million.
Yeah, well, it's the prize money pool. That must be remembered. It's not necessarily the value of the finals. We will sit down and talk with have consultation with the breeders and the owners associations and anyone else that wants to talk to us about how we best apply that money. And it's a great series to be in. It's New South Wales Breeders' Challenge, and like we mentioned earlier with the APG sales, you go to those APG sales or you go to Bathurst sales and you make sure you buy a New South Wales Breeders' Challenge eligible horse. If you can, of course. You buy other horses as you will, and you may want to race them in other places, but certainly the incentive is there for New South Wales Breeders' Challenge.
Yeah, and as well as the Bathurst Gold Crown with $200,000 going towards that. Well,
likewise, currently the Bathurst Harness Racing Club is conducting a survey, and they're surveying people who have horses in that series, or more so the horses that aren't being sustained into that series. Why aren't they sustaining? Is it something to do with prize money? Is it the distribution of prize money? So it's not necessarily straight onto finals or new races. It's to work out what we're doing. And both of those races, that doesn't kick in until the series in 2019. So that allows us a little bit of time to do the consultation, carry out the surveys, and certainly find out where is the best and most productive way to use that money.
Okay, let's talk about Group 2 funding races. $100,000 is going into that for the likes of your, Pink Bonnet, Sapling Stakes, the Rod Fitzpatrick Memorial, Wraith Memorial, Simpson Sprints, and so on.
Yeah, well, those races there, we have the major carnival. We're right in the middle of it. All the focus is on New South Wales, the Miracle Mile Carnival, but there are many other races. We've got the Derby and the Oaks and the Chariots of Fire and the Ladyship Mile, and all those races are important to the carnival. So what we're doing there is making sure they're attractive to bring horses from interstate into New South Wales. Yes, we need competition, and we like to win all the time, the New South Wales owners and trainers, but we need competition. Mediocrity if you don't have competition. So we want those horses coming to New South Wales to make it attractive. We'll make those races Group 2.
Okay. Another good incentive, $300,000 going into 3-year-old fillies as well as mares racing.
Well, this is a calendar, guaranteed races, and it'll be very much similar to the 2-year-old calendar, where the minimum number of horses we will run these is with 6. So where we get a race on a program that normally, for fillies and mares, or 3-year-old fillies and mares, 4-year-old mares, where that race would normally not be conducted, we'll run it with 6 horses, and it will be additional to the standard 8 race program. So it is new, it's not a replacement, and we'll put a calendar out so a trainer can see where he can place his filly or his mare throughout the year. So the 2-year-old calendar has worked very well.
Okay, so when will this calendar be available? Same as the July 1?
Well, we're working on it, and certainly every endeavour will be made to have it out in July 1.
Okay, let's talk about $300,000 going into non-feature race meetings.
Well, that is to boost up some of these great races we have round the state. in that, when I say non-feature race meetings, it means that we have those races where we've got the cups and what have you, but this is a standard meeting. Now, this is to be matched dollar for dollar with the club. So if they've got a standard 8 races, $5,000 on the program, we will say to them, well, we'll put in 2, you put in 2, and all of a sudden there could be a $9,000 race or a $10,000 race, or maybe it's 1 and 1, and we get to 7 and 8. So that is what that's about. We will talk to the clubs about what they want to do there, but it's non-feature race program. So when there's a feature race, those meetings generally attract the good horses. These are for the just standard race meetings.
Okay, well, there's $200,000 going towards the Cup Series.
Well, that's to do the other side of the equation, and that is to make sure that where those good cups are on, that we there's an enhancement there to make sure that we get the best horses possible at those tracks right across the state. It's not about the city area, it's about the country, and where there's a good race, we want to make it even better.
Okay, now let's talk about the final point, $200,000 towards this regional reward series. This is a new series? It
is a new series. And we go back to the $3,500 races. So what we intend doing there is having heats at a track 1 week with the final at the same track, or if it's on the particular site, we'll use Bathurst for example. If Bathurst races week to week, the heats will be 1 week and the final will be the next week. But if it's Parks and then it's Bathurst, well, it'll be the heats in Parks, the final in Bathurst. Or it's Bathurst with the heats and then we'll have the final in Parks. Or Dubbo, it's a week-to-week thing. So we've got $3,500 heats. These are for, the lower level entry horses. They're for COs. There are conditions. There certainly are conditions, and we want to support New South Wales bred, so that's Breeders' Challenge eligible horses. So therefore they're Australian bred horses as well. What's more, then we'll have New South Wales trainers, horses physically trained in New South Wales, CO horses, and there are a few other conditions which will be developed and rolled out. But it's really rewarding that lower entry level of horse into the system.
Yeah, well, that was some of the concerns voiced on social media, that these lower class horses weren't being looked after with this prize money injection, but they are with this new race series.
Well, they certainly will be. For $3,500 they won't incur a C penalty, so they retain that, so that the heat winner is not disadvantaged. But $3,500 into a $10,000 final. Now, when you think about a $10,000 final, that's really $16,000 if it's New South Wales Breeders' Challenge eligible, and that's the way we're aiming it up to be. So it will be a very good fillip for that sort of horse. Now, when you win $16,000, that's fantastic. Yes, some of it will be in a certificate, but that may well and truly encourage you to go to the yearling sales, to Bathurst, for example, and buy some of those horses that go for the $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000, $8,000. It's a good entry point.
Yeah. Great, I think it's fantastic. Is there anything else you want to talk about this prize money boost?
Well, really everyone should be behind it. It's negativity leads nowhere. We need to be positive in this sport. We've got great opportunities. Without any concerns whatsoever, I can say harness racing in Australia is best in New South Wales. These things help. With our infrastructure rollout as well, it will only continue to grow, and we can future-proof what a wonderful industry we have.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Amanda, and look out for the tiger in the Miracle Mile.
Okay, that's the tip. Thank you.